And I would request all of you can kindly attend this session, and then so that you have more clarity that what happens actually in SSB. And I'll concentrate more about group testing technique especially, and I'll touch upon the other two techniques of psychology and interview also. The session most likely, most of the times it will be in English. Once in a while, I'll be keep shifting to Hindi also, so that you feel really comfortable and understanding. And for the first next half an hour, that is from till 8:30 or 8:40, I'll be explaining completely about what happens actually in the SSB, what is the insights about SSB, how the future leadership is designed. And one more thing is that if you go to the chat window, you can see there is a link tree available that will give you access to all my official channels, something like YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, and I have an Instagram, and I do have a Google Play app. I have an application also, and then official WhatsApp number, and the link tree. Individual links also I have given. If you click on the link tree, that will also take you to all those locations, which like it will take you to the YouTube, Instagram, Google Play Store, WhatsApp, as well as my LinkedIn profile. You'll have a complete access to that, and all those informations available there. You can keep accessing to it. And once in a month or twice a month, we do also carry out Instagram live sessions, so that again there are candidates or aspirants who are likely to join, and it will be helpful for them. Now, without much, we'll be directly getting on to the SSB procedure per se. What actually happens in that SSB for the 5 days from the moment a candidate reports. The moment candidate reports to SSB gates from the on day one. Earlier, before COVID, they used to report on 1 day prior evening. But after COVID, it was made to the day one morning itself. So you're supposed to report to SSB at morning around 6 o'clock in front of the gate, not at the railway station, at the SSB gates. And when you're entering the gate, mind me, all those people who are thinking that you can be slightly relaxed, you're absolutely wrong. You have to be completely prepared when you are entering the gates. That means all your documentation has to be thorough. It should not happen like, sir, I didn't get some Xerox and all those things. You have to be completely thorough with all the documentation. जितने भी papers है, सब कुछ लेके जाना पड़ेगा. And जैसे गेट के अंदर घुसेंगे, आपको पहले एक ID proof, आपका call letter check होगा. The moment these two things are checked, you will be made to sit in a waiting hall, and the tester JC will carry out some briefing for you, which is very important. You are supposed to align all your documents, and then you are supposed to fill up your TADA application. Okay, all those TADA, where you will get refunded for your travel for the first time if you are entering. And thereafter, you'll be filling your personal particulars form. And uske baad, the GTO will come and explain. He will give the opening address, and then he will explain what will happen for the 5 days in SSB. So because there will be few fresher who are entering the SSB for the first time in their life. So they should also get into the same level of a repeater. So that's why the complete opening address briefing is given by a group testing officer. Now, for everybody's understanding, fresher is a person who is entering the SSB, any of the SSBs in the country for the first time in his life is a fresher. And a screen out is a person, you've gone to SSB 10 times, but you have seen only the stage 1 procedure. Then you are called as a screen out. And if you sat in the conference once, you are called as a repeater, whether you may be recommended and subsequently medical some issue or merit out, or you are not recommended, but you have seen the complete 5-day procedure, then you are called as a repeater. So don't get confused yourself, what is repeater, what is fresher. So that's why I just elaborated. Now, after this, you'll be taken to the testing hall for your OIR, Officer Intelligence Rating Test. So now this Officer Intelligence Rating Test, in which it is very simple, verbal and non-verbal question kind of things. It is very, very elementary level of questions. But बहुत सारे बच्चे जब बिना प्रिपरेशन जाते हैं तो उनको थोड़ा तकलीफ रहेगा, because आपको माइंड को पता चलेगा कि इसका आंसर तो I know this answer, but you'll be taking some time. That will add more stress to you. And that's why there is a chance you may not be able to perform well in OIR. So my sincere suggestion for all those aspirants जो भी prepare कर रहे हैं, OIR prepare करके ही जाना होगा, Officer Intelligence Rating. That is the first level of writing skill check test. Your aptitude will be checked in that. Your level of intelligence is checked in that. Thereafter, the second test is called PPDT, Picture Perception and Description Test. Now, in this, it will happen in 2 parts. First is a picture is shown, and then you are given about 4 minutes time to write a story about the picture, mentioning the number of characters, their age, gender, and mood as perceived by you, not by somebody else, as perceived by you. Thereafter, you are supposed to write your story mentioning what has happened in the past, what is happening now, and what is the most likely outcome. That's how you will narrate your story. You will take one person as a protagonist, and then accordingly you can make your story. Try and keep the story positive. Don't unnecessarily introduce any negativity into any story. All right. So this is the general guideline. Now coming on to the second part of it, once all you're completed with the stories, all your story sheets will be picked up from you. Thereafter, you all will be made into small groups, and the size of the group will be somewhere between 10 to 15. The maximum will be should be 15, and you'll be made into groups, and then you'll be made to sit in a semicircular pattern in a numerical sequence. And thereafter, each one of you has been given 1 minute time individually. It is your one golden minute, so you can narrate your individual story in front of the three assessors. Now, when you are narrating, the things which you have to keep in your mind is number first is your perception, how you perceive the picture. That you have to explain to the assessors as well as your friends who are sitting next to you and listening. And second is the content of your story. What has happened in the past, what is happening now, and what is the most likely outcome. That is very important. And the third thing what you have to keep in your mind is your confidence. How confidently you are able to tell your story to the crowd. And the fourth thing is your expression. Are you able to communicate nicely in English without any grammatical errors much? So that is very important. And the fifth thing is your mannerism, the way you behave or the way you portray yourself in front of that crowd. These five things is what you have to keep in your mind when you're given the time of 1 minute to tell your individual narration. Once your individual narration is over, likewise, everybody will complete with their individual narration. Thereafter, you are made to discuss. And that time, your participation in the group discussion do matters. Now, if you see in the entire process, most of the times candidate feel everybody was shouting, everybody was trying to participate और उसके वजह से मेरा chance खत्म हो गया. Actually not. कि there are 5 factors which I told you. You would have failed somewhere or you would have not performed up to the mark in that 5 things. Maximum, because that is your 5 individual things which is seen, and thereafter your participation on the group discussion is one thing. So if you see the total 6 things, it is the one thing. But this one thing is not going to have a major impact unless otherwise those 5 things are like you have to compare and see for yourself. And now once it is done for the group, thereafter the results are decided based on your performance on the complete thing. That is your OIR written, the story you have written, the OIR whatever you have performed, your OIR scores will be brought to the assessors, and thereafter how you perform in your individual narration as well as your group discussion, and the story what you wrote, that is also read by the psychologist and the assessors if required, and that is also being assessed. So do not have spelling mistakes. That does matter, okay? Because you are coming to become an armed forces officer. So an armed forces officer with the spelling mistakes is generally not acceptable. So nobody will take a person who is writing with spelling mistakes or grammatical errors. This cannot be corrected in a very short time during training. So normally there is a chance that you may get screened out. So these are the factors. Maybe in the next session or next session, I'll completely have one separate session towards how you are supposed to perform yourself for the complete stage 1. Each technique we will do it. So today it's a complete general guideline I'm giving about SSB. So we will finish off the stage 1. Now assume all of you are screened in. It is possible. It is possible if you really perform well. It is possible because SSB does not have any limitation of recommending people how many have to be recommended, because we don't know who is getting recommended at what board. Finally, it is the IHQ integrated headquarters at Delhi. They make a merit list and then they finalize the candidates. Now assume all of you are done. Now let us see the day 2 procedure. Day 2 is called as a psychology day, in which a complete psychology assessment will happen. Now in which it is purely writing. Psychology is all about writing. The psychologist at SSB will not have a chance to look at your face till the time you reach conference. They will do the complete assessment based on what you wrote in your story. So here what happens is there is a stimulus given to you in form of picture, words, and something like that, which I'll explain. So how you are responding at your conscious state of mind and in your subconscious state of mind. So these are the 2 things which is checked so that your real personality emerges out. And now in the psychology, there are 4 different tasks which is given. The first task is called TAT, thematic apperception test, in which there is a picture flashed and then you're supposed to write a story. The time is for about 4 minutes per picture. In the stage 1 process, one picture shown, and then you are given 4 minutes to write your story. However, for the TAD part of it, it is 12 pictures in sequence. So first picture flashed for 30 seconds, and you have 4 minutes to write your story. Thereafter, immediately there is a timer set automatically after the 4 minutes. Next picture flashes and it stays for 30 seconds and it goes off, and then you are given another 4 minutes. Likewise, it is timed and it goes in a sequence. Once this activity is over, the next activity is called, or the next task is called VAT, word association test, in which a word is flashed and then you are supposed to write a sentence. It should not, simple example, normally I give it to all candidates, is something like when the word blood is given, blood, kun. So you should not write like blood is thicker than water, blood is red in color. It is not going to depict your personality. Don't write these kind of statements which is not depicting your personality. Write something like donating blood and saving lives. So these kind of things says, okay, you are a person who has got some goodwill towards the society. So this is just an example. Don't write like this. So it is just an example, or don't feel like, okay, I should write only like this. You should write what comes in your mind. But the guideline for you is you should not write a statement. Okay, so that is not gonna anyway depict your personality. That is what you have to keep in your mind always. Okay, these are the two things. Now the third task is called situation reaction test. Okay, before that, VAT, every word is flashed for about 15 seconds. Here, the flashing time, the slide flashing time, as well as your writing time is totally 15 seconds only. That means the moment you see the word, you're supposed to start writing. If you skip, you lost your chance. If you miss, you lose your chance. So keep that always in your mind. You have to be pretty fast. That slide will not wait for like Mr. X is not completed or Miss X is not completed. That will go. Again, it is also a time task. Now coming on to the third is called situation reaction test, in which a booklet is given to you and then it will have 60 situations, and then the total time given for you is 30 minutes. That means precisely if you see or calculate, it is only half minute per situation. However, the total time is given to you. So you can write. Going more than 45 to 50 situations is generally a good thing. But if you're doing anything less than like 30, 20, then your chance of getting recommended is way too low. You may not get recommended. Take it from a guarantee, because assessor needs a lot of data to assess about you. And that also the quality of the data is really important. It's just not the quantity. So it is a combination of quality and quantity. It should not happen like you filled all 60, but again, all those sentences are not completed. One such example I can give you, it is like he is going to his school for examination. He saw an accident. He dash. So what kind of action you are supposed to take? So that is what you have to write. So he will call the ambulance. That is also action. I will not say no. But that after that, is he leaving or is he gonna wait, getting the person admitted in the hospital and then informing the family? That is a complete thing. So the action has to be complete. That is what you have to keep in your mind while doing this. Now coming on to and for this, the total time is 30 minutes, which I already mentioned. And now I coming on to the fourth task. It is called SD, self-description, in which there are 5 questions thrown at you. It is something like, what does your parents think about you? What does your teacher thinks about you, or an employer thinks about you if you're working? So these kind of questions which is thrown indirectly at you. It is like how your teacher thinks about you. So you're supposed to write from the shoes of your teacher. So don't mention all negative things about you. Keep that in your mind. So these are the few things which you have to keep in your mind while writing psychology. Golden tip is carry 2 pens at least, because everybody will be busy writing. If one of your pen fails, your second pen has to help you out. All right. Now coming on to the next thing is like, we will speak about the group testing technique. Interview, I'll cover it later, and the conference procedure also, I'll cover it later. Now coming on to the group testing technique, this technique is designed in such a way that when you are put into a group environment, and that is especially a leaderless group environment, how you are going to react yourself, or how you are going to position yourself in a group, that does really matter, because armed forces always operates in groups. You will never find a armed forces personnel operating in single, like a corporate office sitting in one cubicle and then just typing and going back home. That is never going to happen in armed forces. Most of the times we will all operate in groups. All those missions, whatever we do, it is always in a group. So how good you are in mingling in a group, and then how effective you are able to produce your results in a group environment. This matters. For checking that, the group testing technique is designed. This technique has got a total of 9 tasks based on which the assessor will analyze you. It is a combination of checking your intellectual capabilities as well as your physical capabilities, like mental and physical. It is a combination of both. So the GTO starts on day 3. The first day is stage 1, second day is psychology, and the third day is GTO 1 day. It is called a GTO 1 day. So assume if you're reporting onto the SSB on a Monday morning, so Monday was your stage 1, Tuesday was your psychology, Wednesday morning is your GTO day 1. GTO has got total of 9 tasks, out of which first 6 tasks, 6 of them will happen on day 1 and 3 of them will happen on the next day, that is GTO day 2 or the 4th day of your SSB. Now coming on to the task per se, the first and foremost task what you will have is your group discussion, in which there will be 2 discussions happening. Every discussion is of a time period of around 15 to 20 minutes. So this is what will happen there. Once your group discussion is over, then you will have your group planning exercise. In other times, somebody calls it military planning also. It is fair enough. Wherein either a SAN model is made and then you are supposed, then there will be some problems and you are supposed to write down your individual solution and then followed by a discussion amongst your group members and then to arrive at a common solution for the problem in front of you. So all those 4 problems. Okay. Generally, there will be 4 problems plus 1 aim. We will have a detailed discussion again subsequently in the upcoming months, maybe next month or next to next month about all this. I'll explain in totality how this is designed and how you are supposed to react. So keep following us and keep helping the value talks to grow so that you get real value from the entire session. All right. Now the group planning exercise is over. Now the third task is called progressive group task. This is the first task in which you are taken to the ground, the group testing officer GTO ground, and then there is a series of tasks with some structures, and then you are supposed to go from the start line to finish line so that you are able to cross the hurdles and then you are able to negotiate there and then you are able to reach the finish line. So every task you are supposed to complete as a group. Here in totality you are supposed to compete with your friends as well as you're supposed to cooperate with your friends. Then only you can achieve this task. If you're feeling individualistic, okay, it is my idea, I will get succeeded, I will get recommended, that is not going to happen. Your idea has to be accepted by your friends. You need to cooperate with your friends. That's why I said no, armed forces, we always operate in groups. So how you are positioning yourself in a group, how you are gelling in a group, that does really matter. And thereafter, the 4th task is called group obstacle race. In short, it is also called as a snake race. There is one rolled up tent which look like a snake will be given to you as a group, and then there will be other groups also. You will be given a series of 6 obstacles and then you are supposed to race and then win the race. So that time what happens is you have to really cooperate with your friends. You have to let go all your egos and then you have to actively participate for the achievement of group goal. Then only a group can win. So that's how it is designed to check, and then that task is designed that way. So now these 4 tasks which I said right now, GD, GPE, that is group discussion, group planning exercise, progressive group task, and the group obstacle race. These 4 tasks is called as something like a basic series in which you are supposed to show the assessor, yes, sir, I have something in me, please have a look at it. So then only he will concentrate more time on you. If you're a person who is not participating in anything, like keeping quiet, no talking on GD, GP, and PGT, there is no ideas, you're just a follower, then he will not waste too much time on you in the subsequent task. All right. Okay. Because the initial level, if somebody can't start something, it is very, very unlikely. I will not say no. It is very, very unlikely he is able to subsequently perform really well. Okay. So that is a clue, which means the hint for all of you is that you must perform from the start. Okay. That is why I mentioned the moment you enter the SSB gates, your performance thing has to be really great. You have to always consistently perform in all the tasks. Okay. Now coming on to the next thing is called half group task. Now, so far the group testing officer has seen you in totality as a group. Now the GTO is going to split the group into 2 halves, because there may be some person who is really well speaking and giving a lot of ideas, participating well, but there may be a boy or a girl who is unable to participate because he or she is being overshadowed by the person who is actively participating. So to check to split and then check the second person, like mild participant or who is just trying to participate once in a while, to give him an opportunity. The half group task is designed. So now you have been splitted from the person who is overshadowing you, overpowering you. So he'll be kept in a separate half group, and then you will be put into a separate half group, and then you are being checked. And GTO is also having a time to have a close look at you. Is it really you are unable to participate because of somebody, or actually you don't have idea but you're just showing off? So those things will be very easily identified by an assessor, like a group testing officer. Now the next task, or the last task for the GTO one day, is lecturate, wherein one lecture card is given which has got 4 topics, and you can choose any topic of your choice. You will have 3 minutes of preparation time, and then you are supposed to speak for about 3 minutes. So in that 3 minutes, your confidence, your content, the way mannerism, your power of expression, your ability to influence others by holding their attention, all those things are checked. And remember, you are being individually checked now. The GTO is getting a closer look at you about your verbal and then your ability to communicate things. All right. So there comes the end of GTO one day. This 6 task gets completed. Normally it starts about morning 6:30, 6 to 6:30 and winds up by 11:30 or 12. Now let's shift on to the next day, that is GTO 2 day or the 4th day. Or if you, as we decided, if you assume that you're reported on a Monday, then this is the Thursday. So again, you are supposed to report at the GTO ground on the same time. Now you are supposed to have only 3 more tasks left. That is individual obstacles, command task, and the final group task. Now in the individual obstacles, again, they will give a complete briefing of all the 10 obstacles, how you are supposed to do. And thereafter, you will be given individually 3 minutes time to do all the 10 obstacles. So after you, next 3 minutes. So it takes all these tasks are all individual. That's why the GTO 2 days is a slightly a long day, and which is having only 3 tasks because you are being checked individually. Now, once your individual obstacles is over, then you are taken for the next task, that is your command task. Command task wherein you are nominated as commander for one particular task, and then you have 2 subordinates to help you to perform or complete this entire task without any disturbance. Like here, you are the master, it is your task. Nobody is going to say anything why you are doing like this. So there is no friend of yours or no other people is going to bounce their ideas on you. It is your idea, your task. You will do it in the way you want to do. And every task has got minimum of 3 solutions. Take it from me, guaranteed. It is designed to have 3 solutions. So you will find one of the solutions. I said minimum 3 solutions. Maximum it can be 5, 6 also. All right. Okay. Now these are the few things. Once your command task is over, again, normally the timing given for command task is somewhere between 15 minutes. Maximum is 15 minutes. You're supposed to wind up before that. And if it is going, the GTO normally warns you last 2 minutes, 1 minute, something like that, so that you speed up and then you can finish it off. And thereafter, now that GTO has seen you in a close look, like half group task, he has splitted your group, lecturative seen you individually, command task, he has seen you individually, and then individual obstacles also, he has seen you individually. So now he will put you back into the group in the last task, that is called the final group task. And then again, he will cross check how you are performing in the group environment. And there comes the end of your GTO testing. Okay, so far no doubts. And the next question, major question is, sir, when the interviews will happen? So normally interviews will happen from day 2 itself, but in the like post completion of your previous assessment. That is like all the psychology, GTO 1, GTO 2, everything normally gets over by 11:30 or 12. So after that, your interviews will be slotted. So it might happen like you're having your interviews on the day 2 itself, or day 3, or day 4. So whatever time slot is given to you, accordingly, you're supposed to go and appear, and then you're supposed to face your interview one after the other. Your slots will be told to you well in advance. You can change from your GTO. Like if it is happening on psychology day, you can just go in the same formal dress. If it is happening on a GTO day, you have to go change, and then you're supposed to appear in a formal way. And you'll have adequate time to change and then go and give your interviews. And thereafter comes the final day, that is the board conference day. Again, in the board conference day also, the dress is formals, and normally it starts somewhere around 9 o'clock. And till the time you enter the board conference hall, None of the assessor knows who is the assessor for like your own chest numbers. Like let us take an example of chest number 5. I may be an GTO for the chest number 5 at SSB. However, I will not know who was the psychologist or who was the interviewing officer, and none of us interact with anyone regarding your marks or anything. Nothing. We don't discuss anything. Like most of the time, GTOs finish off, you go back to your office, do your work, and then peel off. You don't look at the other assessors. You don't even interact about it. That is the professionalism which is maintained across all the boards. None of the assessors interact with anybody regarding a candidate performance. Take it from me, guaranteed. That's how the system is so strong. That's how the system is the finest selection system in the entire country. Immaterial of whatever system is available in whatever selection country. This is one of the finest system. Take it from me, guaranteed. Okay. Now in the conference, what happens? When you go to the SSB, normally you would have seen it is written Mansa Vacha Karmana, like mind, speech, and action. So now if you closely understand, all the three techniques are the bedrock of it. Mind, your psychology technique is understanding your mind by whatever written solutions you are given. Speech is your interview technique. The entire interview thing is happening. You're communicating with the assessor, and then you're able to give your this thing thoughts in a way of form of speech. And action is your GTO. All those things, whatever you have in your mind, practically are you able to put it on ground is what you're demonstrating in front of the assessor. So these are the three things. And now that assessor have seen you from three different perspectives. Somebody has seen how great in your mind, how he has seen, one assessor has seen you, how good you are in your actions. Somebody has seen how good you are able to put across your thoughts in words. So now all the three assessors come to a congruency. And then if you are that person, what the armed forces is looking for, definitely you'll be recommended. Most of the times people say like, sir, out of 35 only one got recommended, two got recommended, but there are times out of 35 40 10 got recommended, and there are times where there is no one who has got recommended also. All those combinations are possible if the assessors are actually looking for the people who are performing in front of this. And we are not looking for some great scientist, we are looking for average officers or a potential candidate who has got the capabilities to train himself in academy to become an average officer. Because when you're getting inducted, you are an average officer, and as you get groomed in your service, as you grow in your service, slowly you become the finest of the finest officers, and then you are able to lead the entire armed forces itself in the future way. Your leadership qualities develop in a big way, and then finally you become the chief of Indian Army, Indian Navy, as well as the Indian Air Force. And then that's how this entire organization is set. But at SSB, when somebody is being clear, do you have the potential capabilities to become an officer post training? Because we do give some trainability marks, catering that academy training will instill something in you. So based on that, we give some trainability marks based on what we saw. We see the amount of motivation level you have, what is your age, because age has some impact, because grooming a boy who's 19 years is much easier. For an NDA entry, 17 to 19 is much easier than an adult. So accordingly, some plus minus is given in the marks. But again, as I said, it is a combination of everything, not only the age. It is your motivation, your social background, what is the determination you have. There are so many factors which we consider in our mind before giving those trainability marks to pass you out of that SSB. Now coming on to the conference procedure. In the conference, like for example, there are times candidates are discussed and then they are chosen or they are recommended. Now, what kind of discussion happens in the conferences? The assessors, like I as an individual group testing officer, I have seen you, assessed you based on the performance, what you have done in front of me at the GTO ground. Likewise, the interviewing officer has assessed. Likewise, the psychologist also assessed you. And we discuss purely on the shades of OLQ. OLQ is officer-like qualities. If somebody is not aware, there are 15 OLQs. These are the guidelines. These 15 OLQs are the basis on which we assess a candidate. Now, what is your shade? Now, these OLQs are made into a scale of 1 to 10. Like 1 being the highest, great, extremely, really good, 10 being the least worst. Now, there are variety of shades given, okay, like good, bad. So those kind of things, no? Good, bad, best, better. So like this, I'm just giving an example. So there are So many variety of shades are there. So based on your manifestations, what you're given to the assessors, we will choose a shade for you, and that is slowly converted into marks, and then based on the marks what you perform, and then we recommend a candidate. Now, based on the shades, if it is a positive shade, yes, definitely the decision is taken positive, and then it is given. Like for example, it is also possible, or it has happened also, like one assessor has not cleared. I have some reservation that, let's take an example of some practical intelligence, like one of the OLQs, effective intelligence. Practical intelligence comes under that. There are so many tasks given, but there are no great practical ideas demonstrated. However, by the interview technique, when it was some questions are thrown during interview, he was able to answer that. And when the psychology was able to, when the stimulus was given, he was able to give the solutions, practical solutions. However, in the ground, he was unable to do. So now GTO has got a reservation. So now GTO will raise this point in the discussion forum, and then it is being discussed. That is when the candidate might be cross-questioned or given a stimulus or given a situation, simulated situation, and check his response. And if the response is satisfactory for the assessor, then yes, he says, okay, I'll come up for the boy, and then the boy is recommended, boy or girl. If the response which is given in the conference is not up to the satisfactory level of the assessor who had a query or who had a reservation, then the boy or girl is not recommended. Though they are selected or recommended by the other two assessors, but one assessor has got a very strong reservation, then the boy or girl is not recommended. In stage one, if there is some doubt in the assessor's mind whether to keep this boy or girl, then the chance is given to the candidate, because we have another 4 days to assess the candidate. However, if the doubt, like the doubt, or it is very clear the boy or girl is not suiting the criteria or not falling into the window what we are looking for, then definitely the benefit is given to the organization. Armed forces does not like to take a bad apple into the organization. So at that time, the candidate is not recommended. He can go improve himself. He or she can improve himself or herself, and then they can reappear in front of the SSB. But the benefit is always given to the organization. The organization would not like to have a bad apple among the finest officers. And that's it for today. And I'm happy that there are more than 150 aspirants or people who are happy to attend the session throughout. And thanks for your time. I'm really glad that you all were continuously monitoring and then waiting to ask some of questions, whichever is in your mind. Before that, I would like to just highlight in the chat box, there is a link tree which is given, and then you can just click on that, and then you'll have complete access. I've put so much of videos, around 85 plus videos already available in my YouTube, and you can always kindly subscribe and press on those bell button so that you get a notification. Every week, I'm making it a point to put 2 or 3 videos, which is helping everyone for in terms of SSB. And in Instagram, every day there is one shorts or one video which is given, again, to help all those aspirants who really needs a guidance from an assessor point of view. So that is what I'm giving. Futuristic, yes, definitely. I'm also penning down my value points as a book, which will be published soon. That will come in near future. And that link tree will also give you to my Google Play application in the Play Store. And then my WhatsApp number is also there. That's the official WhatsApp number. My team will pick up this number, and then they will definitely give you all those information. If somebody is really looking for any coaching or guidance, yes, that is also available. I run online programs as well as offline program. In my team, there are 2 more colonels with me. They are interviewing officers and psychologists served at Allahabad board. Mine, I already told you, I served at SSB Calcutta as well as 12 SSB Bangalore, 2 locations. One of the youngest GTOs, group testing officers across the country. And there are so many coaching centers available. I will not say no. Yes, there are so many available. And there are many which has not got any assessors. In my team, there will be always 3 assessors who will be always guiding you. And my promise to all of you is that we give a complete, thorough transformation of your personality till the time you get recommended. It is not like you come, stay with me for 5 days or 10 days course, and then you can peel off. It is not that way. Personality cannot be changed in 10-15 days. Take it from me, guaranteed. I don't know, somebody tells it or not, but I tell it openly. You have to travel with me for some time, then only gradually it will impact you. We do have some personality tasks that if you can contact us, and then we'll be happy to tell you all that. Thank you so much for your time.
Gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down.